ask a question. So I'm going to put a poll. Do you know the difference between make and do? I'm going to put this poll in the chat and see how many people know the difference. Hey Vanessa, thank you for joining. Welcome, welcome. Do you know the difference between make and do? We got one response and the answer is no, I don't, which is great. Um, it's great because that's what we're talking about today. So I'll get started. Ooh, Vanessa says to make would be to make something from scratch. That's a very good example of using to make, and I'm going to talk about why that sentence is a good example. So thank you very much for that very good example. I'll bring it back later. So I'll start with to do because I think we use to do a lot more than to make. So to do, I think I'll close the poll for now. All right. So to do is, I'll put it over here. We use to do for a task or an activity, which is the same as to make, but there are some differences. So we use to do for a task or activity that is indefinite and it has no object. Okay, so this task or activity does not come with like a physical object. For example, I'll give you an example. I usually do my homework. I do my homework. There is no, we're not creating the homework. We're just doing an exercise. Or I do the dishes every night. I do the dishes every night. Or I do a few jobs, errands around the house. So we use do for physical activities or tasks that are sort of indefinite or vague. They don't have a physical or tangible object as a result. We also use do for general ideas. A general idea, an example would be like, I'm not doing anything today. So I'll put some of these sentences in the chat. Um, so I do my homework after dinner, and I do the dishes before I go to bed, and I'm not doing anything today. Okay, so these are some examples of regular sentences with do. So again, do is for tasks or activities that are indefinite and have no object, no physical object, and general ideas. Maybe I should invest in a whiteboard. I might do that. I might do that. Some expressions that we use with do are like here. Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor? Or you should go outside. A walk will do you good. And they do business all over the world. So again, there is no physical thing. There's no object. There is just ideas, concepts that are a bit more indefinite. So, can you do me a favor? Which means, can you please help me with something? A walk will do you good. If something does you good, that means it's good for your health, usually. It's good for your health or your mood. And then they do business all over the world. That means they are a company and they work all over the world. Okay, so I'll put these in the chat as well so that people who are watching the replay can see it written down. Can you do me a favor? A walk will do you good, and they do business all over the world. So do me a favor, do you good, and do business are expressions. Um, so don't worry if it doesn't seem to make sense. English idioms don't always make sense. English expressions don't always make sense, but we understand the meaning. So those are some expressions. So now let's get to what Vanessa was talking about with make. What is different about make? So like do, make is for a task or activity. So that part is the same. We use them both. Both make and do are for tasks or activities, but make creates something physical, an object. When we make something, usually there is a tangible, something you can touch, an object. So when Vanessa said to make something from scratch is an expression that means from the very beginning. You created every single piece of this product. I can make pancakes, but not from scratch. From scratch means I need flour, I need eggs, I need, what else do you need? I actually don't know how to make pancakes from scratch, but you need every ingredient to make pancakes. Or I can make pancakes from a mix where I just take the mix and add water and finished. So to make something means you are creating something physical. Usually, that's what it means. So some examples of to make, I'll give you some examples. I can make pancakes. That's a good example. Another one is Vanessa wants to make something from scratch. Thank you, milk. I was like, I know there's some liquid, but is it water, oil? I don't know. Right, so you need milk and flour and eggs to make pancakes. You can also make a mess. Okay, so if I am making pancakes from scratch for the first time and I spill the flour everywhere, I made a mess. Um, so those are some examples. I'll put those examples in the chat as well. So I can make pancakes, but not from scratch. Um, I made a mess when I spilled the milk. And Vanessa is good at making things from scratch. I can make pancakes from a mix. There we go. I can make pancakes from a mix. I made a mess when I spilled the milk. Vanessa is good at making things from scratch. Vanessa, what things are you good at making from scratch? Put in the chat if you don't mind. What is something that you're very good at making from scratch? And while you're doing that, I will share some expressions for make. Okay, so you can ooh, very bright. Here we go. I made plans for the weekend, so you can make plans. I will make an exception for you. So if I make an exception, that means normally I don't do something, but for you, I will do it. I am making an exception. Or let me make a phone call. So if I call someone on the telephone, on my phone, I am making a call. And she made a mistake. So when you do something that you shouldn't do, like spill the milk, but you didn't do it on purpose, you made a mistake. Ooh, Vanessa is good at making girl, double chocolate chip cookies from scratch. I am very jealous. That sounds delicious. So, Vanessa is good. I'm going to edit my comment. Can I edit it? Yes. Vanessa is good at making double chocolate chip cookies from scratch. Perfect. Nice. And so again, and I'll put these in the chat shortly. I made plans for the weekend. So to make plans is to decide what you will do before you do it, right? To make a plan and oh dear. That's okay. We'll work on this. I will make an exception for you. So normally I don't do something, but I will do it for you only. Let me make a phone call. So I will call someone on my phone, and she made a mistake. She did something that she should not do by accident. Is there anyone who has any questions? If you have any questions about make and do, please put them in the chat. If you are watching this video on replay, still put your questions in the comments, and I will try and answer afterwards in the comments as well. All right, so there are no questions. Vanessa, thank you for saying that. That was very helpful. I appreciate that compliment, and I'm glad that it was helpful, so you're very welcome. And we're going to sign off from this live, but again, if you are watching on replay and you have questions, please type your questions in the comments, and I will try and answer later. Okay, everyone, have a very good Tuesday night or day, whatever time of day it is where you are. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.